Hello, everybody. Here I am again with this radian, and some interesting things that happened this week, and something strange that I've found. And I just want to talk about a little bit. Promised myself I would post every so often, so we're gonna look at what happened because I was a day off, and not like I took a day off, but like I was a day off, and I had to figure out why that was because I thought that there was going to be this big activity on the 18th, and it turned out that it was on the 19th. So when I woke up on the 19th and the sun was popping off, I was like, oh my god. And then I realized that we went a click backwards, didn't we? There was a click. So that's the Mercury retrograde motion in relation to us. So we're figuring it out. This is a learning experience. So anyway, so here's the radian, and we put it inside of this little chart here so we can begin to see where the intersections lie and why this is important on a scalar. So here this goes here, right? And we have a positive and a negative kind of a deal happening, right? With this same shape, this shape that we get right here at the center, and this was on the 15th. Why do we have a 15th one? To kind of illustrate that when we start to increase, so we add a radian, and we're within this margin, and we add another radian, and we are within this margin, and so on. And it gets really interesting when the boundary layers become more diffuse, you see, because when they're on top of each other, we have quite a bit of density happening here, and then we reach a precipice point and it starts to thin out, and then another, and then another, and they all work within this mathematical breakdown here, the spatial breakdown. And because it's in relation to pi and in circles, it's also spherical and wavular, which isn't a word, but I will just make that word up today. I like to make words up. So okay, so here's the 18th, and we see that we have this shape. Most of this is just like the reiteration of the fact that these things line up and that they're proportional. So here's one from today, right? The magnetogram image of the sunspot groupings for today, and we see that we wind up with this strange little Z shape happening. There's a pass here. There's a pass here. And it gets really, really weird. Like, this might be the reason for the quiet, because these aren't interacting. These pulsating ripples, right? And one reason for that might be, like I said, the Mercury retrograde went backwards, so it kind of tugged the string back a little bit. So it kind of pulled us in a backward motion. So I thought that the S was going to hit the fan on the 18th, and then we were going to get a couple days of quiet, and it turned out to be the 19th and a couple days of quiet, and that's significant. And here we have Jupiter at Aries in this part of the sky, right, cusping this connection here. And I will make a video about the galactic aspects, about the zodiacal aspects, about the big wheel, and how those are effective within these energetic areas here. But for right now, I just want to kind of show you these things because something really interesting happened with the earthquakes. So see how this is outside of the sun here? These are all lining up on the lines. If you could see it, though, the moon is like right here. It's not quite sitting there. Alright, but then when we hook them up like this, look, again, outside the lines, it's a barycenter. There's the moon. You can see it in this one much better. It's right outside the line there. And we get a reflection of some of these waves coming back when they come off of Neptune, and they traverse, because Neptune's communicating with these outer planets as well, right? These quiet suns that we have here, not so quiet, right? Saturn, Jupiter, and Neptune, and they're in this conversation here, which is reflecting back to the sun. But we have this little space that's kind of diverting that charge. So what's interesting is that it created, so it's not a 6-pointer, but it is right at the top of the world here. And when we line them up, they make these funny pyramidal shapes. So these reflective within the reflection. And so we have a big one here, and then we have this smaller ones, and see how they kind of one inside of the other, and then these larger circles where they intersect, and they get smaller and kind of go down in this dispersion where the energy is like diffused a little bit. Here, these are deeper quakes and more shallow, and then some like mid level in depth. But look at how they're on either side of this. Boom, boom, on either side of this. Like we're participating in it. We're on either side of it. We're participating in it. We're on either side of it. Okay, so what's about this Caribbean over here? Man, that was really like okay, but it's just here. It is clear without all my weird circles on top of it. Just the stickers. And then I was showing this and I realized, oh my gosh, there's a wave. There's a wave up here. You see it? So I'm like, what does this thing do? And then this is Robert Edward Grant, and he's got this awesome shape going on here. The sequences of nature and how they fit, right? We'll see. We'll talk more about that later. But I wanted to see. So then actually I saw that there was kind of a reflectiveness happening at the bottom too, right? And so I was like, okay, well this is going this way. This I think this one should be turned upside down. But because it's this one here. That was just me in a hurry being not as careful as I should. But look how these two go down and they point right here. And we get a lot of earthquake activity in this area here, right? And then in this region we also get quite a bit of activity, and there's like this big open space here. I'm like, wait, something is going on. We gotta find this out. So this is what a radial blackout looks like. This is from the 18th, and see how it kind of hits the sun, or hits the earth, sorry, in this this wave, because we're a sphere, and so it's hitting this side, this, and this. That's just the other half of this circle here, this blue circle. They're the same, just wrap it around. So last second, that got a little crazy, a little fast, didn't it? So here's I put that wave, I guess it would be, on top of the earthquakes, just out of curiosity, and I was like, oh my goodness, look what's happening here. Look what's happening here. And so this one, and then all of the sudden the Caribbean is starting to make a little bit more sense because it's in this open space. Remember we talked about open space is space, right? Empty space is space, and it's a reflection. So here's an empty space with one in the center, but here's an empty space without one, right? And see how they reflect? There's one here but not here, on the line, outside of the line, and they create these interesting patterns. So now we go backwards for them. And yeah, I put them overlap them. I don't know which one's easier for you to see, but they're kind of communicating with this whole shape here, this whole wave front, and expressing in certain areas. This map only has the Greenland quake on it, the one where I put these circles. I should have done that. And I'll probably do that and add it to the website, because I did, this is the website that we're looking at right now, and I did put these all on the electric weather page on the website. So if you're interested in how this works, or you want to take a minute to look at any of this, you can peruse through here. And did I add anything else? Oh, I added that awesome collection of sprites that came up. Also on the 19th, there was a sprite storm, and this one's in Oklahoma, and this one is in Tibet. And then there were also sprites in Germany, Czechoslovakia, somewhere in Europe. There was all these sprites. So we've been collecting, like I said, the information on electricweather.com. Electric Weather Facebook page, and you can go on over there and check it out if you are interested in that. And also in this post here, we've been collecting them, and I did add a little bit of this earthquake information in there for you. So other things that I want to look at, we did get this amazing South Pole imaging of the sun. This is the South Pole of the sun. Can you believe it? It just looks like a bunch of clouds. It looks like a fluffy pillow. So we're gonna break down those a little bit more this week and kind of get into that and to see. We had a lunar eclipse. Some people got some amazing pictures of that, and I just like to reiterate this shape here. It's kind of like a vortice, right? We've got like a large opening here, and then it kind of swells down, and then we get like this other, and we wind up with a that analemma shape that we talked about. And if you want to look at Robin Edgar's stories, he goes into how the ancients might have used coronagraphs to block out the sun and create their own eclipses, and how well they knew when the eclipses would be and what time they would be and how effective they would be. And he's got some pretty interesting work there with that. And I mean, when we look at how things are placed, is it wrong of us to question that? I don't think so. I mean, there's a purpose for it, right? Um, we get into these kind of things and we start to see it, and it becomes almost like undeniable that we may have been looking at this wrong, and so we need to allow ourselves the ability and the pleasure of looking at them in different ways. So yeah, here's your radian, here's the moon. Oh, so beautiful. My camera's not great. And here's the exponential of it. And if you want to check out the past few days and what's been going on and this weird thing, you got any input? Johnny Five needs input. Look at this. It's like you're seeing it. I know you're seeing it. I know you guys are seeing this like Mobius ness thing just going through the planet in this way. And then what I'll do is I will do a thing like this with a thing like this, and I'll put it down here. So if you want to see that, you can come to the Heathen Stargazers electric weather page. I'll show you how to do it. The things we say when we're gazing, electric weather, boom, just takes you back here, and you can start hanging out. All right. You guys have a great day. I'm going to go enjoy some of the sunshine and a little rock and roll later.